So what happened to Dogecoin? Did we have a failure to launch to the moon? Did the mission have to be aborted? So Dogecoin, the meme coin, if you've been following it all, I want to bring you a rational viewpoint of what's going on in cryptos, what's going on in Dogecoin and things like that. And you got to be very careful. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that are getting into the space and using their platforms to kind of help hype it up, pump it up. And if you listened or watched any of them, you heard a couple of them say, you know, for instance, with Saturday Night Live, there was going to be hundreds of millions of people watching. You got to understand, a show like Saturday Night Live only usually gets a few million people watching. With Elon on there and the live streaming and all that, maybe you got up to 6 or 7 million people watching worldwide, but definitely nowhere near hundreds of millions. So people were getting so hyped up that they thought there would be 100 million or more people watching Saturday Night Live. Now you need to understand Dogecoin, and number one, the biggest problem with Dogecoin growing exponentially is that it's limited in terms of the availability of where to buy it. What helped pump it up and helped bring a lot of velocity to the play was the Robinhood platform. So a lot of people got on, when that coin was available through Robinhood, a lot of people were able to get on there and buy Dogecoin there and then ride it up and sell it at the top. Some people rode it and still have it and have lost a lot of money in it. Some bought at the top thinking it was going to go to $1 or $3 or $5. And you know, there's a lot of speculation out there about it, but you really have to be careful. You really need to educate yourself. There's a lot of coins out there. There's a lot of blockchain technology out there. There's a lot of different things going on, a lot of different projects, and everybody is pumping up their coins, pumping up their projects. And a lot of these YouTubers get paid to promote certain projects and certain coins. So you got to be careful who you're listening to. Make sure you understand what it is that they're talking about, and then look at what's going on from an institutional standpoint. So the other case for Dogecoin going to the moon, besides Elon getting on Saturday Night Live and hundreds of millions of people watching, was that all of the institutional money getting into Dogecoin. There is no institutional money in Dogecoin. So think about what that means. Institutional money is corporations and investors, investment funds. The only thing that any real institutional money is in right now when it comes to cryptocurrencies is Bitcoin. Life insurance companies are starting to get a little bit of exposure. Some companies are getting exposure to Bitcoin, but they're not in Dogecoin, they're not in Ethereum, they're not in Litecoin or any of these other coins and tokens. They're certainly not in Dogecoin. So when it comes to the institutional money, think sovereign wealth funds, which is countries, investment funds, pension funds, life insurance companies. Those are the real institutional investors. Then you have corporations and businesses, and then you have your high net worth, your ultra high net worth individuals, and your retail investors. Dogecoin is primarily retail investors. It was all pumped up by the hype, kind of like the GameStop play, kind of like the AMC play. A lot of people got hurt on that, and a lot of people are going to continue to get hurt. But you know, it is fun for a lot of people. It's like gambling, and it's like a video game for some people. So just be careful. Make sure you educate yourself. You know what you're getting into, and understand who you're listening to and what they're saying. If you have a YouTuber who just all of a sudden pops up a couple of months ago talking about Dogecoin and all of the fundamentals and technical analysis and how hundreds of millions of people are going to watch Saturday Night Live and it's going to bust up over $1 to $5 or whatever, you know, just understand what that really means, and is it even possible? Are there that many people that are going to watch that show? Is Elon Musk that popular? There is a big community around Dogecoin, and a lot of people have rallied together and drove that up. But then the smart people took profits when it was at its peak. It's going to dump down again. It might have another little surge, and then ultimately it's probably going to go away and be worth nothing. I know there are some retailers accepting it, like the Mavericks and companies like that, and Elon Musk. But you know, how many people are really buying Mavericks memorabilia and, you know, t-shirts and gear? How many people are really buying Tesla stuff? It's really not that many, and it's really only t-shirts and, you know, all of their little retail items that they have on their website. So it's not like you can take Dogecoin to the grocery store, or, you know, to Home Depot, or to the furniture store, or to the clothing store. You're not able to do that yet. Now, PayPal is getting in the game. Stripe is getting in the game. It won't be long before You'll see a lot of these other payment gateways get in the game, but think about this for a minute, and this is the topic of another video. If the whole idea behind blockchain and cryptocurrencies is DeFi, decentralized finance, but yet the way that you spend the currency is by using traditional banks and traditional centralized finance platforms, what are you really accomplishing at the end of the day besides a bunch of speculation? So think about that. PayPal getting on board, Stripe getting on board, Amazon, Facebook, all these other companies that are getting on board accepting cryptocurrencies for payment, it's all going through centralized finance, financial institutions and platforms to process those payments. Even the Bitcoin credit card is going through a traditional bank. So the whole idea behind decentralized finance and this whole system outside of the central banks and credit card companies that's going to exist and operate separate and apart from the dollar is just not realistic of a contemplation right now, because everything hinges on the dollar. Everything trades in currencies of the dollar, in denominations of the dollar, in terms of what you can exchange that cryptocurrency for. It's all based on the dollar, and it's so volatile up and down that it can't be counted on as a real exchange of value or currency in terms of a retail standpoint. So just be careful, make sure you study it, make sure you understand it, make sure you are not investing more than you're able to lose. And you got to do your homework, you got to watch it. It's a day-to-day thing, a minute-to-minute thing, hour-to-hour in terms of trading a lot of those currencies. Some of the, Bitcoin is more of a longer-term play. That may end up being a good store of value in the long run, but it may end up being worth nothing at all. So we'll just have to see where that goes and how it plays out. But be careful, do your homework, educate yourself, and watch who you listen to out there. Make sure you understand what they're really trying to do and how their bread is really buttered in terms of who's paying their bills, where they're really making their money. Are they making it on their investing and the advice that they're giving? Are they making it on their sponsorships, the projects and the tokens, paying them to promote their products, or their advertising on their YouTube channel? So make sure you understand where they're actually getting their income from, what their real motivation is, and whether or not they're actually making money on the advice they're giving you. And then watch the hype. Do your homework, do your own research. Don't listen to, don't just listen to somebody telling you that hundreds of millions of people are going to watch something, so that means they're going to buy something, and prices are just going to go through the roof, when in fact the audience is a fraction of what they think it is.